here on 9 Lake Street, I realized I could never capture all that Heckle Street and Lake Street buildings have meant to this family. I know that inevitably I will forget and leave out some people that should be mentioned in this tribute, and for that I apologize in advance. Well, anyway, here goes. I took my first steps right back there on the back porch, which I rebuilt 3 times. James helped me the last time, and Marcia planted that tree. The 3-room apartments in Heckle Street were first homes for Mimi, my dad, Aunt Jean, Uncle Pat, and the Duke and Aunt Gracie. I guess that means, with the exception of Rocky and Irene's family, we were all made right back there. And Uncle Rocky wasn't far away after buying 140 Heckle Street soon after they were married. 3 family members from our parents' and grandparents' generation passed in this complex: Grandma, Charlie Boy, and my house, and of course, most recently, Aunt Jean. There are also 5 dogs from our family alone. 3 majors, Alex and Lola. 136, 138 Heckle Street housed the pool hall, bakery, a gym for boxers, a bookie operation, and most recently a sales office for 20 years for Seagate Technology. 9 Lake Street was home to air-cooled engine service for approximately 9 years until my father passed in 1969. Any repairs that were needed here were for the most part done in-house. Charlie Beans was a master carpenter and a pretty good electrician. Duke, of course, would tackle any project. Uncle Pat, my godfather, was also good at just about anything. He and I redid every fence surrounding these 2 properties. And when we needed outside help, we still had family like Lewis, a master electrician, and Johnny, too. Of course, I was expected and wanted to help do the work. But you know, it really wasn't work when you worked when you helped the Duke or Lewis. It was a laugh a minute. And when we did need true outside help to do work, we had Jerry Sena Sr., and in later years Jr., Hank DeFrance, Jerry Neary, and most recently Wolf to pitch in. Everyone loved working here because Mimi always had a gourmet lunch waiting at 9 Lake Street. How could I write a tribute to these properties without mentioning Zidzi, or as I called her when I misread a Christmas gift label, 2121, and Angelo Bambo, or Aunt Josie. I can still hear her opening that wooden back window on Sunday morning when the macaroni was ready and yelling, "Child, Rock, I mean Jim, time to eat." And how about Aunt Gracie, Big Red? And roast beef and mashed potatoes at Grandma's every Saturday at noon. In the 50s and 60s, most residents of Heckle Street were family. But when non-family members came to live here, they became family. Annie lived in almost every apartment on Heckle Street. And when Lita came along, Phyllis and Fran were brought up here. Holidays, of course, meant large family and friends gatherings. Thanksgiving, Palm, and Easter Sunday were held on the 3rd floor at Grandma's. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day were held at Uncle Charlie and Aunt Josie's. As time passed on and they got older, the holidays moved to 9 Lake Street. The first New Year's Eve party held at 9 Lake Street was to celebrate the new house in 1959, 1960. Glory was the old year, Patrick was the New Year's Eve baby, and Grandma dressed up as Mae West. Christmases were always exciting, especially when Aunt Lou came home from California. There was always action when she was around. Summer parties were a blast. Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day. Attendance was mandatory for all nieces and nephews. 4th of July was always my favorite. Looking forward to shooting off the fireworks Uncle Charlie Beans had brought home from Florida that year. I still remember going to get a block of ice with him in the morning from 6th Street, and I thought he was so smart when he used an electric blower to ignite the charcoal in the barbecue. When 9 Lake Street was conceived, I hear my mother wanted a Center Hall colonial house. Charlie Beans said, "You can't afford that." So he designed this ranch house with his exotic hip roof, and he dipped every shingle in linseed oil to preserve the wood. Family and friends built this house on nights and weekends. Lots of material fell right off the truck in front of the building site. How about when we put up the basketball hoop and we all formed a circle with Aunt Jean in the middle and made her take the first shot? And one last time, Aunt Jean, Gloria and I did not spit in that hallway. And for those of you who don't know the story, we erroneously got soap put in our mouths right here for a crime we didn't commit. Right, Gloria? I'd also like to recognize and thank my wonderful neighbors, Sal and Sue Palizzi, Ariel and Daniel, for just being the neighbors they've been. 9 Lake Street was not only a home to Marcia and I, but a home to all the Constantinos. Coffee almost every night after dinner, with all my mother's brothers, brother-in-laws, sisters, and sister-in-laws in attendance. Every day was Christmas at Mimi's, as almost never did any niece or nephew come to 9 Lake Street and not leave with something from Mimi. For me, leaving's bittersweet. I took my first steps from the back of 136 Heckle Street. There isn't a brick, piece of wood, tree, fence, or blade of grass that I wasn't personally involved with these two properties. I almost feel like I'm losing my identity. How I wound up being the last man standing here, I don't quite know. Maybe it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Maybe it was the worst thing that ever happened to me. Maybe it was just my fate. In 70 years, I've moved 100 feet. It's time to move a few miles away. This is without a doubt the biggest decision of my life. Someone recently told me, never regret the decisions you make, but you should regret the decisions you don't make. Well, it looks like I made the hard decision. I'm almost done. All the Constantinos that have passed would be proud that on the last party here, we celebrate Eva Constantino's birthday, as well as Nicholas Constantino's college graduation. We should all take solace and pride that the only family to ever live at 9 Lake Street will be our family. Of course, my opinion's biased, but who could give this house more love and meaning than my mother and her brothers and sisters? That's it.
Wait, not so fast.
Little something for you. Yes. Two of you. Here you go. Okay, open them up. I'll take the mic. Uh-oh.
Test.
I can hear you. Oh, beautiful.
Local.
I had a local artist by me. I hired him to draw the house. Oh, thank you, Gigi. So if you see me on camera snooping around taking pictures, that's thank you. Oh, I did the back too. Because that's where we want to have. Right? Thank you, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Not so fast.
So fat. You have to say something? You have a presentation?
Jules, do you have a presentation?
So, Jim, I was crying over there. I know my cousin Patrick was probably bawling his eyes out. But we have with all the stories, all the memories, and this huge decision, I just want to say, Jim, it takes a lot of balls to do what you just did. And I don't know who spit in what hall or how our great-grandfather got shot or what the stories were, but my father, the Duke, told me that these two were on some pillar in this yard somewhere. Rocky, God bless him, has looked high and low through every picture from 1909 to now. But I wanted to just give these to you. First of all, I don't have any more room for them, so you have a nice big house, you can have them. But to me, it represents 9 Lake Street and all the memories on the other side. Flip it around.
Drop them.
136 Hackle Street, Constantino family. Frankie, okay. I was hoping he was going to shoot a half-court shot for me. But to me, you know, this whole complex represents a gateway of our lives, right? And I think about if they were on the fence post or not, all of our great memories come through this yard and back. And so, thank you for opening your heart and opening your house and your life and your mother and grandmother and everybody that we know and love. I have no idea what you're going to do with these things. But I at least want to present a set of brass balls for you, Jim, because that was an unbelievable decision of steel, actually. So, present them to you in some way, shape, or form. I was thinking of Uncle Charlie Boy and the Duke. I was thinking of Uncle Charlie Boy and the Duke as I was trying to put this thing together. So enjoy whatever you're going to do.
All right, let's put the pinata up and
Woo! Tennis! Daniel said he has a